We'll talk about that.
It's quite poor. Hello and welcome, my name is Ian. This channel is all about music and art. And I thought it was about time we had a bit of an update. And I'll also be announcing the winner of the 8,000 subscriber giveaway a bit later on. So if you entered that, stay tuned. And I was looking back over some of last year's videos and I noticed that this time last year, exactly this time last year, within a couple of days, I was thanking my subscribers for hitting the 4,000 subs mark. So we've managed to double that figure in less than a year. So thanks to everybody who subscribed, commented, asked questions and has joined me on the Patreon page. It really does mean a lot, so thanks very much for that. When I look back at that 400 subs video, there are a few things, as it works out, that weren't true. Things that didn't happen or get done. And the first of all was the tale of my illness in early January 2020. So I was told by doctors that I had contracted bronchitis and it had taken, and I had to take it easy. Although one doctor did ask if I'd just come back from China, which I obviously hadn't. And I'm now convinced that while I was in hospital for day surgery, I contracted COVID-19. And I'm not alone in this belief. So have a look at this.
The official timeline runs like this. On the 31st of December, the World Health Organization's officially told about a new pneumonia-like illness in China. On the 7th of January, Peter Atwood from Kent is admitted to hospital. On the 11th, the first known death from COVID-19 in the Chinese city of Wuhan. Then the 30th, Peter Atwood dies. The same day, the World Health Organization declares a global emergency. And the 31st of January, 2 Chinese nationals in York are confirmed to have the virus, believed at the time to be the first UK cases.
There are many similar stories of people, particularly going to Europe on skiing holidays, coming back with the infection that met all the classical criteria we know now. So I'm pretty sure it was definitely here with us in December. There are some cases going back to November, but there are less of them, and it's less clear and definite that they had the disease.
And the reason that I know I've had COVID is because I was asked to be part of the REACT study in October 2020, and I tested positive for having the virus a while ago. There was 3 little marks, one if you've had it recently, one if you've not had it at all, and one if you've had it quite a long time ago. And I tested for having it quite a long time ago. So if my spell of illness in January 2020 wasn't COVID, then I'm asymptomatic and I don't know when I had it. But let's have a look at some of the other things I promised a year ago, because I did make some promises. I'm going back to Edinburgh Festival Fringe in August, and where we went for 10 days and did lots and lots of YouTube videos. We did 34 videos in 10 days. We're going for longer. Jane's going to be involved again as she was last year. We're going for 16 days this time. We're going to be accredited reviewers, all being well. We're going to do exactly what we did last time, which is we're going to be reviewing practically we are going to be reviewing every show that we see. Edinburgh Festival Fringe cancelled. It wasn't my fault, but it was cancelled. And though we had booked and paid for our accommodation, we decided to rebook for this August. And now we're going 14 days, all being well, unless country's in lockdown number 20, and we can't go anywhere. If the festival's not on, we are hoping to go and just experience Scotland a little bit and use it as a base, but we'll see actually. Promise number 2. I talked about getting the channel monetized, which happened, and starting a Patreon, which I've done. My Patreon followers are currently a small group, and at the moment I'd like to thank each of them for their support. You know who you are, and if you'd like to join us, there's a link down below in the description. Let's have a look at promise number 3.
I am still doing recording jobs, and I've currently, although I've had to push them back a little bit at the moment because of illness, I've got 3 jobs currently on the go, which I will be doing over the next few weeks.
I managed to complete one of these before the first lockdown in March 2020, and it's such a shame because that was a dance show and I was providing the music and sound effects. And although the project was finished and the dance school were all ready to have their show that year, they are still waiting. Here we are a year later, and that show hasn't happened. The other 2 recording jobs have had to be shelved until this stuff, which is mainly over the size of the studio. The studio is 2 rooms, but this is the main room. There is another room, but we couldn't really social distance properly, so that's what's happened there. Promise number 4.
I'm going to be doing more reviews, and one of the first things we're going to be doing is I got a set of these for Christmas. They were bought for me, which is Brian Eno's oblique strategies. So we're going to be doing a video on them, how to use them, what's the best thing to do with them, all that sort of stuff. That'll be coming up in the next few weeks.
It just didn't happen, and I'm so sorry, but hopefully this year I will do a video on how I use these things. Promise number 5.
I've also purchased one of these, which is basically it's a slightly different. This is the Joyo version, but this is like an EBO for guitar. So I'm going to be, and I've never used one of these before, so we're going to go through the process of using that, how good it is, whether it's worth the sort of, I think it's about £50, something like that it cost me. So videos coming up on stuff like that.
Again, it hasn't happened. I've used it in one video so far. I will do a complete video on this. It's quite difficult to really get your head around how to play it properly, which takes a bit of time, but when I have, I'll post a video about it. So promise number 6, which was more synth reviews.
We're also going to be trying to do some more synthesizer reviews. I'm currently discussing with a couple of synth manufacturers whether they can loan me particular synthesizers that I can then do reviews on. That will be coming up in the next month or so.
And I did manage to do a synth review of the Korg DW8000 review before I sold it. And I also started about series how I made my last album, and that was there's another one of those videos coming out in a couple of weeks. And I also did some theatre at home reviews, and I've got some more iPad Geoswarm instrument reviews to do. So those will be coming up in the next few months really. Promise number 7. I said that we were going to go to quite a few arts and music festivals last year.
I will also be going to a few festivals, all sorts of music and art festivals this year. We're obviously doing Edinburgh Fringe. There's a small electronic arts festival coming up in the end of February, which I'm hoping to be well enough to go to, and that will be in Huddersfield. Now that's over 3 or 4 days. I'll take the camera, we'll do some reviews, we may be able to do some filming, although I have yet to ask them if that's going to be possible.
We did manage to get to the Electronic Spring Festival, which I covered last February, and there have been a couple of more online festivals that I've covered, but actually for most of us there wasn't any festivals that we could actually physically go to. Everything had to be done online, and hopefully as things start to open up, we'll start to include more of that sort of content, because whenever we go to a festival we'll take the cameras. So that's what I didn't manage to do last year. So what about this year? Well, I have to say it's hard to make a firm promise until the pandemic is over, as none of us really know what's going to happen. But I will be doing some more reviews on the ASM Hydrasynth, which arrived just before Christmas, and the Soundbrenner watch, and I've been asked to do more videos on things like the Suzuki Q Chord. I have a series of videos on how I set up a Gibson guitar, which seems to get quite a lot of people interested, and I thought, well, why doesn't the Fender Stratocaster series get the same sort of response? And that's because I haven't done one yet. I've only done one video on a Fender Stratocaster, and that's how to hardtail it. So coming in the next few months will be a full series on how to set up a Fender Stratocaster. And my Stratocaster needs a full setup, so I will be going through that and showing you every detail of how to set the truss rod and the tremolo system and the electrics and all that sort of thing. So that'll be coming up, but probably in a couple of months' time we'll start that. So what else is new? You may have seen that I've just completed Jamuary, whereby I created 31 improvised compositions, one for each day throughout January 2021. It was a bit of a marathon. Well, it was a marathon, it was 31 days. Some of the pieces of music are great and will form part of my next album, while other pieces of music are complete rubbish. I'll let you make your mind up on which is which. And I don't mind you telling me. Another thing is that the UK government have started their examination in the way that streaming platforms do business. They started this back in last year, and I've already posted some videos on that. This time they'll be interviewing PRS and PPL and some of the larger record labels. And now those videos are quite long. I will be distilling those meetings down into palatable chunks and we'll start that in the next week or so. So if you want to see what's been happening so far, I'll put a link down in the description down below. So now on to the results of I keep wanting to call it Mondo, but it's not, it's Modo Bass. This is a license giveaway. So Modo Bass is a piece of software, and I've been using it myself over the last year. It's a great piece of software, gives you simulated basses. And thanks to everybody who entered. And the way it works is that everybody who emailed me has been given a number, which is on a bit of paper here, and I will pick the winner at random. So let's just so we've got a randomizer up here, and we hit random, and it's number 5. Now number 5 on the list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is somebody called Matax. So congratulations, Matax. I will be dropping you an email with the license in the next couple of days. And thanks very much to everybody else who entered. Sorry that everybody couldn't win, but congratulations, Matax. So I hope you found that this video was useful, and thanks very much for watching. And if you'd like to subscribe, that would be absolutely fantastic. And a thumbs up is always much appreciated. And ding that little bell if you want to be notified when I post new videos. And if you'd like to join my Patreon family, who get access to extra material and goodies, all of that stuff starts for £1 a month, which is pretty much the cost of a coffee, I suppose. And there's a link in the description. So thanks once again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye for now. Bye-bye.